Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into a book that has totally changed the game for so many people, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. We're going to find out how the most powerful tool for building wealth might actually be simplicity itself.
So who's the guy behind this? Well, J.L. Collins is a longtime financial pro who first wrote all this down as a series of letters to his daughter. His whole mission? To slice through all the noise, the confusing jargon, and the complexity that makes most of us feel like investing is some exclusive club for experts. He's all about making this stuff easy to understand and, more importantly, easy to do.
And that really brings us to the core question, doesn't it? You know, we're always told that managing money is this super intricate maze. But what if it's not? What if the best way to get wealthy is also the most straightforward? To figure that out, let's start by tackling the biggest roadblock on the path.
Okay, before we can even start building wealth, we have to clear the biggest, most common obstacle out of our way. And according to J.L. Collins, that obstacle has a very specific name: debt.
Collins does not beat around the bush on this one. For him, debt isn't a tool. It's a trap. It's this heavy weight that just limits your choices, cranks up your stress, and drains the most powerful thing you have for building wealth: your income. This isn't just some casual advice. It is the absolute bedrock of his entire philosophy.
Now this flies right in the face of what a lot of us are taught. We always hear about good debt, like a mortgage for a house or student loans to get a better job. But Collins warns that even this so-called good debt is still a burden. That mortgage comes with decades of interest payments, taxes, and repairs. Those student loans, they can chain you to a job you don't even like just to make the payments. The bottom line is clear: any kind of debt just reduces your freedom.
All right, so if debt is the big problem, then what in the world is the solution? This is where the real beauty of this book's idea comes into play. It's elegant, it's powerful, and it is so refreshingly simple.
And that's it. That is the secret sauce. The whole strategy isn't about picking the next hot stock or trying to perfectly time the market or paying some expensive advisor to guess for you. Nope. It's all built around one idea: own a broad slice of the entire market through simple, low-cost index funds and just let it grow. And you really can't talk about index funds without talking about the legend himself, Jack Bogle. He's the guy who founded Vanguard and created the very first index fund for everyday people. At first, everyone thought he was crazy, but he proved that by just buying the whole market and keeping your costs super low, you could actually beat most of the highly paid Wall Street pros. His work is literally the foundation this whole simple path is built on. So if we're going to walk this path, what do we actually need? Well, you might be surprised at just how simple the toolkit is. Collins argues that you really only need two things to build a powerful, diversified portfolio that can last you a lifetime. The first tool in your kit is the Engine for Growth, VTSAX. Think of it like this: you're buying a tiny little piece of almost every public company in the entire US stock market. So instead of trying to find the needle in the haystack, you just buy the whole haystack. It's simple, it's diversified, and it's incredibly low cost. But to balance out all that growth, you need an anchor. That's where VBTLX comes in. This is your bond fund. Bonds are way less volatile than stocks, so when the market is having a really bad day, or month, or year, this fund acts as a stabilizer. This is the part of the plan that helps you sleep at night when things get rocky. Okay, so we've got the tools: a stock fund for growth, a bond fund for stability. Sounds easy enough, right? But J.L. Collins is crystal clear that having the right tools is only half the battle. The other half, and honestly the more important half, is what's going on between your ears. The market is going to go up and the market is going to go down. That is an absolute guarantee. Your success will ultimately be determined by your ability to stay calm, stay disciplined, and stay focused on the long term, especially during those scary downturns. This isn't about being a financial wizard. It's about having psychological strength. So how do you build that mental strength? You burn these three truths into your brain. First, you have to accept that market crashes aren't an if, they're a when. They're a normal feature, not a bug in the system. Second, just look at the history books. After every single crash in its history, the US market has recovered and climbed to new highs. And third, because of those first 2 points, your job is simple: do absolutely nothing. Stick to the plan. Buy and hold. The reason this mindset is so important is that our own brains are basically hardwired to do the exact wrong thing at the wrong time. When stocks are soaring, we feel that fear of missing out and want to buy high. And when they crash, our first instinct is to panic and sell low. This simple buy and hold strategy is the perfect defense against those destructive emotional impulses. Okay, so we've talked about the problem of debt, the simple solution with index funds, and why your mindset is so critical. Now let's pull it all together into a practical roadmap that you can actually follow through your entire life.
Your investing life really breaks down into two main phases. When you're young, you're in the wealth accumulation stage. Your goal is aggressive growth, so you can go heavy, maybe even 100% into stocks. But as you get closer to retirement, you shift into the wealth preservation stage. This is where you start adding more bonds to the mix to add stability and protect the money you've worked so hard to build.
And while you're investing, you want to be as smart about it as possible. That means taking advantage of tax-advantaged accounts first. If your job offers a 401k with a match, that is literally free money. You have to take it. After that, look into an IRA or even a health savings account if you have one. These special accounts let your money grow faster by cutting down or delaying the taxes you owe.
And that brings us right back to the central theme of this whole thing. This simple path, avoiding debt, buying low-cost index funds, and just staying the course, isn't just the easy way. All the evidence shows that it's often the most effective way because it gets rid of the two things that kill investment returns the most: ridiculously high fees and our own emotional mistakes. So, Collins gives us the map, he gives us the tools, and he gives us the right mindset. He's laid out a clear, simple, and proven path to building real wealth and achieving financial freedom. The only question left is the one he leaves for all of us to answer for ourselves.